Hey, hey, everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio. How you doing? Yes, I know. This episode of Fatso Radio is brought to you by Volpe Martial Arts. Volpe Martial Arts is KW's, that's Kitchener and Waterloo's hottest, newest Kung Fu and Hapkido martial arts school. That's right, Sifu Adam Volpe, my brother, brings you a lifelong passion, lifelong interest in martial arts, Hapkido, Korean martial arts, Kung Fu, Chinese martial art, an amazing fusion. Sifu Adam Volpe, my brother, brings it to you. Check it out, volpemartialarts.com. All right, folks, what's going on? Halloween's tomorrow. Be safe. We'll talk about it a little bit. Just another solo episode, folks, just me and you. Hope you enjoy it. Talk about keto, the difference between carnivore and keto, and what I got from both diets and what I love about both diets, why I continue to do both diets. How did October wrap up, and what's my plan for November? Let me know what you think. Thanks for all the love. I appreciate it. Send me your questions. Send me your comments. fatsoradio@gmail.com. All right, folks, let's do it. It's fancy music here. Lily, take it away.
Fatso, the really good podcast show.
Fatso, our very first podcast show. Yeah. Hey, everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio, episode number 91. That's right, folks, 91. Wow, what's up? It's Halloween. It's the end of October. What are we doing, right? So first of all, it's a weird day tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow, October 31st. Today's the 30th, Friday. Happy Friday. Tomorrow, 31st. Halloween. It's a blue moon, right? So that means it's the second full moon of the month. Ooh, spooky. But what does it mean, really? It's another day, folks. It's another day to be safe. Another day to, whether you're talking about your diet or whether you're talking, whatever you're talking about, your family, your friends, whatever, be safe, okay? So if you're going out and trick-or-treating, if your children are going out trick-or-treating, be safe, of course. Use common sense. I hope for the best times, everybody, and I hope for the safest times for everybody, enjoy yourselves, enjoy your loved ones, and have a good time, right? So what I want to talk, candy. What should I even say about candy and Halloween? You know my feelings. About candy. You're going to eat them. If you're going to eat candy, of course, Halloween's the time that everybody's going to eat it. What's the key? Getting back on the horse, right? Getting back on the horse. If you're going to eat candy, that's life. You're going to eat candy. But the next day, you're going to get back on the horse if your goal is to not eat. If your goal is to not eat and to sustain that, right? So what are we going to do? Get back on the horse, like always. So what I want to talk about today, now that we got Halloween out of the way, I want to talk about the difference between carnivore and keto. I talk a lot about the keto diet. I talk a lot about the carnivore diet. Sometimes I use the words interchangeably, but they're really not the same, but they're super similar, of course. A ketogenic diet, as a recap, and everybody for Fatso Radio, a great time to recap. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice, but I'm giving you my personal advice through my own personal experience. I've been digging deep through this stuff in the last few years, 5 years, but really dieting my whole life, right? Trying to crack that nut, trying to figure out what exactly it takes to lose the weight. And so far, through my whole life, the last 5 years or so, last 4 years or so, 3, 4, 2, 1, and recently, I've been able to lose a bunch of weight. Not all the weight I've ever wanted to lose, but very close to that, right? And it's not even about meeting that magic number, that magic goal weight, but it's really about getting healthy. And I'm way healthier than I've ever been. So Fatso Radio, again, eating a high-fat diet, right? That's what a ketogenic diet is. A ketogenic diet is a diet that relatively keeps you in ketosis. Right? So that means that you'll be in ketosis for most of the time, not all the time, of course, but ketosis means you're burning fat for fuel. So if your diet consists of foods that are considered ketogenic, there'll be foods that will keep you relatively in a ketogenic state, meaning there'll be foods that will be high in fat, foods that are high in protein, not foods that are high in carbohydrates, because carbohydrates will kick you out of ketosis. Carbohydrates, having sugar, carbohydrates, or raise your blood sugar and will stop ketosis, right? Your body will then rely on glucose for fuel. Even if it relies on glucose a little bit, it will predominantly rely on glucose for fuel, which is the opposite of ketosis. Ketosis is when your body is relying on ketones, which is fat, right, for fuel. That's what ketosis is. That's what a ketogenic diet is. If your diet consists of foods that will help you bounce in and out of ketosis, but in it for the majority of the time, That's a ketogenic diet. A carnivore diet, of course, is a diet made up of animal foods. Is a carnivore diet, or are carnivore diets also ketogenic diets? Yes, right? But again, it doesn't mean you have to be in ketosis all the time. You're 24 hours a day. You don't have to be in ketosis to even have a ketogenic diet. So would a carnivore diet be classified as a ketogenic diet? Of course, because a lot of times, a lot of people that are on a carnivore diet are in ketosis for the most part of the day, or a big part of the day rather. But even for some people, they're in ketosis the whole day. So I wanted to kind of break apart the little differences. Again, they're very, very similar, right? A carnivore diet really is a type of a ketogenic diet, an animal-based ketogenic diet, essentially. But to that point, you could still have a carnivore diet that's not going to be always in ketosis. So if you think, or if you rather want to say that a ketogenic diet or a ketogenic diet is only a diet, or is it a diet that you have to be in ketosis all the time? Well, then no, it's not going to be. But I don't believe you have to be in ketosis all the time to have a ketogenic diet. More than not, that gives you a ketogenic diet in my eyes. So the differences, I talked about them, but what are the differences for me, and how did the different diets work for me? If that's your question, man, today's your lucky day, because I want to break it down. The keto diet, first of all, did the same thing, and for a much longer time, did the same thing that the Atkins diet did for me. It was a low carbohydrate, low sugar diet. And what it did was it lowered my insulin, right? So if you lower your glucose level, lower your blood sugar level, chronically lower it on a good sense, right? So over time, lower it on a consistently lower it, rather not chronically. But if you consistently lower it, then you're also going to consistently lower your insulin levels, right? And if you lower your insulin levels, then you're going to be storing less fat. You're going to be less hormones, less growth hormone, right? Because insulin is a growth hormone. It's needed, of course, but you don't want high insulin levels all the time. It's not good. It's associated with many, many illnesses. And not only that, it's very, very closely associated to weight gain. Essentially, the easiest way to gain weight is going to be to add a high bunch of sugar, bring your insulin level all the way up, and your body has something to do with, your body has to counterbalance a high sugar, a high blood glucose level rather, with insulin, or you'll die, right? Because high blood sugar is very dangerous. So the ketogenic diet, again, like the Atkins diet, it lowered the amount of carbohydrates, it lowered the insulin level, it put me in a state of ketosis. It forced my body to turn the switch, right? And again, a ketogenic diet, or ketosis, friends and family, and everybody, all 5 of you who are listening and watching, hello, Ma. You're burning fat for fuel, predominantly fat for fuel. It's called a ketogenic diet. Fatso radio, right? What's wrong with fat? Nothing. This is how we're going to eat fat to get your body to burn fat, right? To like fat, to enjoy fat, to actually optimally use fat, and then it'll burn the fat that's on your body. That's what happens. That's what happened to me. That's what happens to thousands and thousands and millions of people now around the world. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Again, ask your doctor. If you're going to change your diet drastically, definitely talk to your doctor. Talk to your healthcare professional. If you're just going to make some common sense changes, you don't need to talk to your doctor. It's common sense. The same thing your mother, your father, your grandmother would tell you. In fact, those are the people who know about this diet. Those are the gurus of this diet, I tell you. And I kid you not. I was going to say shit you not, but I kid you not. Both of them. I kid you not. Especially the carnivore diet. Just think of it. If you're anybody out there listening are following the carnivore diet, go talk to your grandmother, your grandfather, your uncles, your aunts, your mother, your father, your great-grandparents, and if they're around. Thankful. I mean, you'd be so lucky if they are, right? Talk to them. See how the old ways of doing it. How do they preserve meat? Every culture did it. How did you make cheese? What did you do with dairy? You made cheese, right? The old way of doing it. So again, the carnivore diet, or the keto diet rather, it's helped me lose weight. The first thing that helped me lose weight, because it helped me tap into the fat burning engine that I have, that we're all born with, right? We all have the ability to burn fat. We start out burning fat. We burn both, right? We need both. We need both to grow. We need both for our brains, but we need both. And that's why there's fat and carbohydrate, sugar in breast milk. That's the only combination the only time you're going to really see that a lot in nature, right? The fat and carbohydrate together. And that's the only time we need milk, maybe. But again, who knows? Again, what do I know about that? But the ketogenic diet, again, a low carbohydrate diet, switches you into fat burning mode. Then when you're burning fat, right, You're burning body fat. You're burning the fat from your stomach, from your ass, from your arms or whatever. It's not in a certain way that it burns it, but it's also burning fat. So that's your adipose, right? It's also burning fat, your visceral fat, the really dangerous fat that's inside around your organs, right? Inside you can't see. It's the kind of fat that you can be where you can be skinny fat. I'm not skinny fat. I've never been skinny fat. I've been fat fat. I'm visibly fat. I'm proud of that. But you can be skinny fat, and that's how you can be skinny fat is that visceral fat. And they say that's very, very dangerous, the most dangerous kind of fat. But when you flip that switch and you burn fat for fuel, or you let your body burn fat for fuel, and that's what happens. Your body starts burning its own adipose tissue, right? We have this ability to store fat, right? To store energy in the form of fat for a rainy day. Well, folks, it's never raining. From a nature standpoint, from many of us, it doesn't rain, right? And because of that, we're never really in a shortage of calories. So we're always eating these carbohydrates, these easy calories, easy burn calories. You never have to tap into those fat calories because we never give ourselves a chance to. Anytime we've ever, for a lot of people, not to go on a tangent here, but for a lot of people who've tried to burn fat, for a lot of people who've tried to lose weight the old way or the conventional way of lowering calories or just removing fat, you're never satisfied. You're never flipping that switch. You're never telling your body or letting your body or forcing your body to then go ahead and burn fat again. So it's no surprise to me why these carbohydrate diets don't work. There's no surprise to me, especially if you're overweight, especially if you've had a low fat, high carbohydrate diet in a long time and you're insulin resistant or even diabetic or close to it. There's no doubt they don't work for me, or they don't work for most people. So you lost weight. I lost weight right away, right? Right away, you start losing weight. Not only do you lose weight, but you eat less frequently, right? So that's also why you're losing weight. There's also often a debate, the millennia-long debate about calories in, calories out. Do calories matter? Okay, a calorie is not a calorie. A calorie of carbohydrate is not the same as a calorie of fat. But do calories matter? Sure. Calories matter in the sense of the amount of calories you eat in a day, 3,000 versus 10,000. Sure, that'll have an effect because that's energy. But it's more nuanced than that. The calories you eat, the 10,000 calories of carbohydrates you eat is much different than 10,000 calories of fat. You're eating 10,000 calories of fat. Whew, good luck. That's a ton of fat, right? But not only that, it's when you're eating fat, your body signals differently. And when you're eating carbohydrates, your body signals differently. The satiation, the fact that whether you're hungry or not triggers or does not trigger with carbohydrates, right? For a lot of people. So when you're tapping into your body's fat in a carbohydrate ketogenic diet, then that means that you don't have to go long between, or sorry, you don't have to eat you don't have to eat every couple hours like you used to. When you burn carbohydrates for fuel, or predominantly carbohydrates, especially if you're burning only carbohydrates for fuel, you need to eat often because you can't store carbohydrates. You can't, and especially just think of the mess we get into. We eat carbohydrates for years and years and years, and we rely on those. And every time we're hungry, whether it's 2 hours later or 10 minutes later, we go to carbohydrates again. And we don't want to gain weight, so we don't eat fat. Right? So we go to carbohydrates again, whether it's fruit or vegetables or sugar, whatever, it's sugar, right? Or fruit or vegetables or grains, heart healthy grains and all this shit and cereal. I did it for years too. A lot of people did it. So you go there and you don't want to eat fat because it's bad for you. You don't want to get fat on your ass, so you don't eat fat. You never get satisfied. And then for a long time, for a lot of people, you can never tap into that. Well, no shit. You can never tap into it because we're afraid of it. As soon as you start eating fat, your body says, oh, whoa, this is the same kind of stuff I have. Similar, right? Similar to the kind of stuff you have. So you flip the switch, you retrain, you reteach, you re-liberate your body to be able to burn that. Your metabolism, our metabolisms are very smart, right? And the most ancient part of us, right, our mitochondria. And if you feed them right, they're powerhouses. They literally are the powerhouse, and they will fuel us. So fat for fuel means that you not only is your blood sugar maintained and it's flatlined, it's very, very stable. For most people, when you're on a ketogenic diet or even carnivore diet, your blood sugar is maintained. So what happens when your blood sugar is maintained is that you're not hungry. You don't get these spikes and cravings and hunger pains and all this stuff. Not hunger pains, but just hunger. You don't feel these cravings. So that's the first thing. So because you're not having these pains or these hunger, I don't know why I'm saying pains. It is painful, but because you're not always hungry, you're not having these cravings, you're going longer between meals. And then when you go longer between meals, you're letting your body go through all its other maintenance, all its other kind of cleaning and detoxification, everything that we always hear the body can do, or all these drinks you need to do, but your body can do that naturally if you give it time. You give it time to, and that's what fasting does, right? People go on these 2-day fasts, 3-day fasts, week-long fasts, month-long fasts, and I'm sure they're all amazing, and they are. They all have different benefits, but even just fasting throughout the day has an amazing benefit, right? Also mentally has an amazing benefit. The liberty, or the freedom that you gain from not being tied to having to eat every 2 hours or every hour or even if it's healthy food, right? I remember eating healthy food every 2 hours thinking, when's the next time I'm going to eat, right? When you're eating a diet that's high in fat, especially if it's meat, for me, I can eat breakfast or I cannot eat breakfast. And whether I eat breakfast or not, I can still eat supper at 5 or 6 o'clock or even 7 o'clock, and it's no problem. I know that sounds crazy, especially for someone like me who used to think about food all the time. So it's a very, very, it's a big change. It's a big, big change to our psyche, to our patterns, and everything. So that's the meal frequency, right? Losing weight, meal frequency is the keto diet. This is what helped for me. Also, some digestive issues, right? It definitely helped up some digestive issues because I wasn't, I wasn't constipated. Not that I was ever constipated much, but my digestion seemed to be a lot better. Not eating bread. I mean, first time I really got rid of bread and grains and everything, completely changed. The bloatedness, that's the big thing. When I went to a carnivore diet, it even changed even more, right? So the weight loss, I didn't lose weight right away when I changed carnivore, but my body started to change. My body composition started to change. Even I can't say it's more faster than if I went just keto or not, because I went keto first from standard shit diet. First I went paleo diet, then keto, and then the carnivore. So the difference really, a couple small differences really helped. When the carnivore diet, a couple additional benefits I found. So I had a little spot of eczema on my leg, and I have a little kind of a spot here on my underarm, I guess, that cleared up when I went to carnivore. And I don't know if it's just maybe prolonged keto for a long time or just carnivore, something about all the plants. My digestion even improved even more with carnivore. That's one of the weirdest things that's kind of improved with the carnivore, even as comparison to the keto diet. So the keto diet, like I said, my digestion was great. My bloatedness, I wasn't gassy. I wasn't always feeling like I was stuffed, right? No bread and all that stuff. It made me feel much lighter, right? But then carnivore, even more so. Like I say, I've said in the past, I can have a steak and still go train martial arts. Where in the past, I could never eat even a big salad and then go train. Makes me feel weird. But a steak is fine. I find that really odd. I also find it odd that a lot of people consider meat really really heavy. And I'm not that surprised when I hear that, but I'm concerned because I'm like, oh my God, I hope that doesn't make them, kind of go against it or kind of shy away from it because they think that if it's heavy, then it's going to make them gain weight. And it's quite the opposite, right? Heavy food, or what you would think maybe is heavy food, is really probably the most nutrient dense food. And I find for meat, the more meat I eat, the less food overall I even eat, even the less calories. So I'm probably eating less than 2,000 calories a day on average, maybe a little bit more than 2,000 calories a day, where I would eat way more before. But it also has to do with your weight, of course, right? If you're 300 pounds versus 200 pounds, it's a big difference. So with the carnivore, like I said, eczema, little spot cleared up. My digestion, very, very, it helped it. It was awesome. I'm regular, like I said, without getting into too much details, but I'm regular once a day, and it's good. There's no complaints, no complaints. There was times where I was eating keto, especially when I was eating a keto that's kind of a high plant keto diet. I was eating tons of salads, maybe 2 or 3 salads a day, with meat on, of course. I would be going to the bathroom so many times a day, and I would be so gassy. It's much better on the carnivore diet for me, much better for me. So those are kind of the benefits for me. With the weight loss and the body composition, both keto and carnivore has been great for that. It's been helping me keep the weight off. And like anything else, right? It's when you stick to it. Are either of those diets harder for me to kind of stay on? Actually, I brought one last point. I guess I want to talk about that. The carnivore diet, the last thing, I guess, or one of the things that sticks in my mind that kind of that I like about it, or that really helped me when I jumped from the keto to the carnivore diet, is that it really helped my sugar cravings. So when I was on the keto diet, I was still eating some plants, right? Still eating some fruit. As long as I had around, between 20 or 30, it depended for me for the most part. But if I could still sort of keep a little bit of carbs in my diet and still be on ketosis. I could still do that and lose weight. So I was happy. But I found that when I was eating sugar, even if I was eating a little bit and it was still staying within my limit, the carbs kept me, that draw, that the pull, the demon, the chasing, the dragon, the sugar dragon, I guess. And I really felt like it did, whether it was sugar, some sort of, it's probably more fruit than not because I've always loved fruit, but I found that it really helped. It really made it hard for me to stay away from it. And when I went carnivore, maybe it was because it was part mentally saying all nothing, cut and dry, black and white, just meat and that's it. But also I think because I was not having any outside carbohydrates, right? And no dietary carbohydrates. I think it helped it easy. It made it easier for me to kind of stay away from the sugar. So that's the kind of the keto carnivore benefits. Let me know what your questions are. Let me know what you think about keto versus carnivore. Let me know what you think about the carnivore if you've tried it. I always say to people, even the keto or carnivore, try it for 30 days. If you're going to try a keto diet for 30 days, try it. If you like plants, great. Have salads and have meat on top. That's the easiest way to do it. Salads, whatever you like with your salad, meat on top. Breakfast, bacon and eggs. You don't need any plants for breakfast. Bacon and eggs. Don't have any toast. Right? Keto diet. Lunch, salad, meat on top. Supper time, grilled meat, some vegetables if you want vegetables. That's why it was easy for me to go to the carnivore diet because I figured I'm just going to have all the same thing. Just going to remove the plants. See what happens. I didn't die. No. In fact, I'm doing better even now than before. So that's kind of how I sum it up. November. What's going on for November, folks? It's Halloween tomorrow. There's always kind of I'm always thinking about gimmick or whatever, all that stuff. But so what am I going to do about November? Actually, before we go to November, let's talk about November. October. End up good. Hey, like always, life happens, folks. I'm going to have a little drink here of coffee first. No excuses, no explanations, no cryouts, no whatever. I wasn't sober the whole month, but I was sober for quite a bit of it. Definitely during the week on most times. And then, on the weekend, we had a couple celebration moments, a couple of moments where I was a little bit stressed, a couple of moments where I was a little bit nervous, a lot of things going on, but all in all, good. All in all, very, very good month. My God, it's amazing. I can tell you that I know I can gain about 20, almost 15 or 20 pounds in the course of a weekend. It's amazing. Not that it's a great thing to be able to find that out, but if I, kind of have that little thing in the back of my mind, oh, how much weight can I lose? But not that it's good, remember, but turns out I'm carrying around 20 pounds of water for the most part, or maybe about 15 pounds of water. And I guess maybe I've been about 200 pounds or so. Maybe that's not that unheard of, but I found that out, and it quite simply for me, folks, it's, if I have a little bit, I have a little bit of sugar, I have a little bit of more, whether it's candy or whether it's something, boom, I can have one piece maybe, or I can have one thing or whatever. And if I do, and I'm fine for sure, right? But if I don't, and if I do overdo it, I know what happens now. And the more times I do it, the less often I do it, I get better at getting on the horse. The same thing I always say, right? But I do fall off, folks. I do fall off just like everybody else. I fall off if I'm trying to stay good on the no sugar. I did pretty good right up until like 26 or something a couple days ago. That's easier than me. That's easier for me, right? But also, whether it's alcohol thing, whether it's sober October for marijuana, whatever anybody's challenges are, right? Or anybody's challenges are, we're human, right? But we get back on the horse. The more times we get back on the horse, the better we get getting it back on the horse, and the less often we should be able to, or we should have to get back on the horse. Those are all real things. I really, really believe that, because that's the whole idea in my mind. That's the whole idea through my understanding. When you get back up, you get back up fast. You get back up quick and strong, and you do it because you're ready to do it. You're going to do something different next time. That's going to help you stay on the horse, right? I'll do the metaphor, stay on the horse, I guess. But anyway, that's October. November, what's going on for November? November, it's going to be another reset month for me, right? Nothing as far as, I don't know. I'm not going to do anything as far as like how many this and how many that, or how many push-ups or whatever, but I'm going to do back kind of a reset back to, back to basics for me, but also a holistic kind of a back to basics as well. I'm going to really try and focus up a little bit more on stretching, little bit more on meditating. My goodness, meditating. If anybody knows the trick to help force themselves to meditate, not force themselves, but really to help remind themselves to meditate, or some easy ways to meditate, some easy forms of meditation, maybe some unconventional forms of meditation, let me know. fatsoradio@gmail.com. But I'm going to try that. I'm going to try and get back to basics again. Like I said, a carnivore diet is the best diet for me right now. I found a keto diet, that's a high meat keto diet, or a heavy animal product keto diet. That's basically it for me. With animal products, the inclusion of berries doesn't bother me. The inclusion of some cheeses, mostly the harder cheeses, real raw cheeses, doesn't bother me at all. Real kind of ancient foods in my mind, right? That's the food that works best for me. That's the food that I'm going to keep on eating unless I have to change. But again, we every day is a different day. Every day we're trying to pivot and trying to see what works best for us. And that's the whole idea. So friends, family, loved ones, thank you so much for listening to Fatso Radio. Thank you so much for watching Fatso Radio. Another Friday night. It's my pleasure to come to you. Send me your likes. I appreciate your likes. Send me your questions. Send me your comments. Send me your topics, what you want to hear about. Any guests you want to have on, send me their contact info. I love to have new people on all the time, whether it's doctors, butchers, farmers, astronauts, teachers, lawyers, anybody. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about your opinions. If you're a vegan, I want to hear about it. If you're a carnivore, I want to hear from you. If you're in keto world, I want to hear from you. If you're another guy like me, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what's going on. Check it out. Check me out. Thank you so much. I love you all. fatsoradio@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Meet the Butcher, Supreme Cuts, and always volpemartialarts.com. KW's newest, hottest martial arts. That's Kung Fu and Hapkido. Sifu Adam, my brother. Check him out. Fatso Radio episode number 91. Thanks, everybody. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. And Violet, let's bring it out. You say thanks for everybody. And thanks, guys. Have a great day. I love you all. Peace. Let's say bye to everybody. Bye. And we'll say thanks for listening. Say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
So get your butt and get in your chair.
Don't eat your nails and don't pull your hair.
We'll talk about chicken or talk about steak.
We'll talk about fat, for goodness sake.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso,
a very first podcast show.